The County Attorney's Driver's Education Program hits a milestone, Reforest the Bluegrass, and dispelling myths about homelessness. All this and more on this week's edition of Lexington Now. I'm Neil Noah, and this is Lexington Now for the week of April 8th, 2019. The Fayette County Attorney's Driver's Education Program hit a milestone this past week with the graduation of its 1,500th student.
Hi, I'm Larry Roberts, County Attorney here in Lexington, and we're here to recognize a young man who is the 1,500th student in our class. We started back in 2011 teaching this defensive driving school, and we have 9 kids in a class. There are basically 2 classes a day all the way through the summer. One starts at 8 and goes to 12. We're in the middle of one right now. And then the next class starts at 1 and goes till 5. So Henry Box is the 1,500th student who's going to graduate from this thing. It'll be tomorrow. He's got 2 more days of doing it, so if he wrecks the car, he won't get it. But I don't think he will. We basically teach a child how to anticipate an accident that has never occurred yet. And that means you got to think about other people's driving habits, because most kids think if you drive safe, then everything's fine. Well, that's not true. Then we teach them, how do you get out of an accident if it's about to happen? It could be a car stopping right in front of you and you hit it because you hit your brakes and slide into it, or an icy road or a wet road or an edge of a highway that doesn't have any drop off or no gliding area to go, and so you jerk your car back and lose control. We teach all of that here in a 20-hour school that lasts 5 days in a row and goes 4 hours a day. This started back in 2010 with an idea by a fellow in my office named Greg Howard, who was a captain on our police force. And he said, why don't we start doing something about kids driving and having accidents? Because we were having 1,900 accidents a year caused by teenagers, 16 to 19. So his brainchild was that, standing right there. And he told me about it. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a place to do it. But he kept at me, and we went with Mark Barnard, who later became the police chief, to Richmond, Virginia, to study this. And we came back with the idea we can use the driving pad, which is 5 acres right over here. We started doing it. Mayor Gray gave me permission to use the driving pad. Ms. Gordon was a commissioner at that time, a city councilman, and she was on board with the council and helping let us do that. And I guaranteed Mayor Gray, and we have never done it since, haven't changed, that we would never accept any money from the city or any money from the state or the federal government to run this program. We do it by donations, great donations from people who have their kid in it, or a company that thinks that we're doing fine. So we float the boat that way.
Just a few comments. I'm really happy to be here with you today, our County Attorney Larry Roberts, to celebrate the Fayette County Attorney Driver Education Program's 1,500th graduate. That student, Henry Box, and his family are here with us today. Henry attends Lexington Catholic High School, and if I understand correctly, your other 2 siblings have graduated from the program. So you got all the teenagers trained. I also want to recognize 2nd District Council Member Josh McKern, who's with us today. Thank you. There is a clear need for this program in our community, and I'm really happy that students like Henry are taking advantage of it. Schools no longer provide this type of instruction. When I was growing up, I took it through school. Teenagers are 400 times more likely to be involved in a traffic accident than adults. Distracted driving, such as texting, has led to an increase in accidents. This program is a positive training course that makes a huge difference. Thank you very much, County Attorney Roberts, for continuing this initiative, and to Barney Kimman, the Director of Instruction. Barney's up here with us too. There are no tax dollars used to cover the cost of the program. Attorney Roberts has found funding through grants and private sponsors, and I issue a great thanks to those sponsors for this program. The city allows the use of our blacktop pad on top of what used to be the old city landfill, which is now closed and sealed. It's a perfect use of this space. And we also allow us a small amount of office space in our police roll call center for the administrative part.
It's very special that the city has taught 1,500 students. It means a lot for the city to have safe drivers. I learned a couple things. I learned how to prevent a skid, learned parallel parking, learned how to Walmart parking, the side parking.
Walmart parking.
And then also just whenever a tree, come in front of a tree, you have to try to prevent running into it and getting back on the road. You drive, every day, and so it's important to know how to drive, and it, like the stats say, it's very dangerous, but you just got to learn how to do it.
To learn more about the program, call 859-226-1814. Reforest the Bluegrass is this Saturday, and it's your chance to help make a positive difference for the environment.
Thank you all for being here and joining us for this press conference leading up to the 20th anniversary of Reforest the Bluegrass. Reforest is a program that has grown over the years and has become a part of how our citizens welcome spring. I'm happy to be kicking off my second week as commissioner by celebrating these efforts and our partners who have made it possible. Reforest the Bluegrass has benefited the whole city with 20 years of events at 13 sites throughout Lexington. This Saturday we will be back here in hopefully better weather at Masterson Station Park, planting thousands of trees, making birdhouses, and playing games. One person who will be joining us is Council Member for the 2nd District, Josh McKern. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Council Member McKern to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner Albright. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I'm thrilled to see this family-friendly event coming back to Masterson Station Park in Lexington's 2nd District. On Saturday, my wife and I will make memories with our 2 boys, planting flowering dogwoods, sugar maples, bur oaks, and my personal favorite, sycamore trees, just to name a few. Over time, our children can come back to Masterson Station Park and see their trees and see how they have flourished. In the past years, this event usually draws 600 to 800 volunteers, which is a great turnout. But this year, I challenged Lexington to bring 1,000 volunteers for its 20th anniversary. I'm going to now turn it over to someone who has always supported Reforest of the Bluegrass, Mayor Linda Gordon, if I can speak to it.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here with Councilmember McKern and Commissioner Albright in her 2nd week. And I have been a longtime supporter of Reforest the Bluegrass, and I'm so glad to be here to celebrate 20 years. Over 20 years, nearly 16,000 volunteers have planted more than 136,000 tree seedlings, think about that, restoring over 185 acres of floodplain. All of this has been accomplished with less than $150,000 of local government funds, thanks to our private sector supporters, whom we will recognize here today. We all know trees have many benefits: cleaning the air and the water, cooling the urban environments, even improving people's mental and physical health. Reforest the Bluegrass is an opportunity for trees to bring our community together, making Lexington a better place to live. This effort is coordinated by the city's Division of Environmental Services with support from divisions across government, including Parks and Recreation, Water Quality, Streets and Roads, Waste Management, and Emergency Management. And we have many of those folks in government here, so I want us to give them a hand, first of all. Thank you. Thank you. Several of our boards and commissions also offer support. Keep Lexington Beautiful, the Environmental Commission, and the Fayette Local Emergency Committee. I want to introduce you to an individual who has been with Reforest the Bluegrass for 20 years, And I haven't seen him yet. Oh, there he is. I just caught sight of him. John Saylor hasn't worked for the city that entire 20 years, but he has been involved with Reforest since the very beginning. John currently serves as the Senior Program Manager for Forestry and Natural Area Operations. And I'm going to invite John up. I want to congratulate him and ask him to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor Gordon, and thank you, sponsors. 20 years is what a milestone. We do have a pawpaw tree for you guys, and then we also have framed the 20 years of Reforest the Bluegrass, basically a map that shows where those events were for you guys to take as well. If you don't have a home for a tree, then no worries, we'll find a place for it this week. So I just wanted to invite everyone out this Saturday again. It is a family-friendly, one-size-fits-all event. We have children and grandparents and everyone out, so there is really something for everyone to partake of. It's pet-friendly. We have jobs for everyone. I don't know about the pets, but for the kids, we have. I love watching the families work together, and the kids hold the trees as the father's digging, and so it really is a family-friendly event. And this, hopefully it won't be. The extended forecast looks pretty good, but the weather, regardless whether it's rain or shine, we'll just dress according to the weather. The trees don't mind what the weather is that day. So again, 9 to 1 this Saturday. Invite everyone to come out and partake of the 20th anniversary of Reforest the Bluegrass.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wear your boots, right, John?
Yes.
All right. I just want to thank everyone for being here. This is one of the most wonderful events of the year. And it's for the greater good for centuries forward. So thank you all so much.
After the break, spring tips for your lawn.
Josh Wilson.
I'm Chelsea Sawyers.
We're with Fortune Collision Center. Fortune Collision Center has been a part of Reforest the Bluegrass for 10 years now. We encourage the community to come together and plant some trees. When trees are planted, it provides cleaner air and clean water.
We've enjoyed being a part of this for 10 years because it allows us to come together as a community to improve our environment. We hope to see you all out April 13th to join us in planting trees at Masterson Station Park.
Welcome back to Lexington Now. Spring is here and the sound of humming lawnmowers fills the air. We've got some tips for you to get the best results from your lawn this spring.
Living in the bluegrass means we're lucky to have the softest and greenest grass around. But sometimes when people take pride in their lawn, they overdo it, using pesticides and herbicides to make their lawn look perfect. These chemicals are not only harmful to wildlife and the environment, but humans and pets as well. So let's use something more natural. Chemical products like this do more damage than meets the eye. First, they harm wildlife, including beneficial insects like bees and butterflies. Second, chemicals from these products wash away when it rains. This chemical runoff pollutes our watersheds, flowing into creeks and harming the ecosystem. Here are a few tips when it comes to mowing. Don't mow shorter than 3 inches. Mow more often and avoid cutting more than 1/3 of the leaf when you mow. Don't mow when it's too hot or too dry. Keep the mower blade sharp and set at the highest setting. Kentucky gets a lot of rain, but during dry spells in the summer, it's better to water deeply and less often. For better soil, spread a 1/2 inch of compost or natural fertilizer over the grass and rake it in, or spray a natural fertilizer before watering. Don't throw yard waste in the streets, and be sure to put any lawn clippings in the gray yard waste cart. Everything that goes in the gray yard waste cart will be ground into mulch. Lawn care is sometimes more of an art than a science. It's okay to treat your lawn well, but avoid using chemicals. The bees will thank you for it.
There is something else that has been growing in recent years: the problem of wipes clogging our sewer pipes. Jennifer Myatt explains how you can help wipe out the problem.
I'm Jennifer Myatt, and I'm out here at the Wolf Run pump station. Lexington has over 80 pump stations as part of its sanitary sewer system. And what a pump station does is lift the sewage up into the pipes that it needs to go to in order to get to the wastewater treatment plant. And we have 2 of those, but those 80 pump stations work to get the sewage that comes from your sinks and toilets and kitchens into the wastewater treatment plants. So this pump station behind me is one of our bigger pump stations, but we have a problem that happens sometimes at all of our pump stations, and that is that flushable wipes can get tangled in the equipment and be a costly problem to solve. So you've probably been at the grocery lately and seen next to the toilet paper that flushable wipes have become very popular. And while they say flushable on the package, and that might kind of be true, it doesn't mean that they're good for your sewer system. They may flush down your toilet, but they can get stuffed in your sewer pipes and cause sewer backups into your home. And even if they make it out of your sewer pipes, that doesn't mean they won't cause problems in the city pipes. But you don't have to take my word for it, because I'm going to show you exactly why they cause problems. So what I have here is some toilet paper, which you've probably seen before, and a flushable wipe, which you have also probably seen before. And I have 2 bottles of water. And you can do this experiment at home so you can show your friends and your family what I'm about to show you. So if you put the toilet paper into the bottle of water, and you want to put the cap back on so you don't make a mess, because you're going to shake it up. So this is what happens when you flush your toilet and everything goes down your sewer. You have toilet paper that has fallen apart. It is disintegrated. It's basically just going to flow with the water. So it won't cause any problems in your sewer pipes. It will just flow down your pipes and into the city pipes, through the pump stations, and to our sanitary sewer wastewater treatment plants. However, if you put a flushable wipe into this bottle of water, you will see a much different result. It's bubbly because it has soap on it, but you can see that it hasn't disintegrated at all, and that you can in fact just pull it out. So this is what it looks like when it goes through your sewer pipes. So if there are tree roots or any kind of blockage from fats, oils, and grease or anything in your pipes, this can get stuck. And even a lot of them together can get stuck, and they'll cause a blockage in your pipes at your house. If they make it all the way to a pump station, they can cause a blockage in the pump station equipment, and that's very expensive to fix. So you might be saying, but I really like flushable wipes, and that's fine. But all you have to do is, instead of flushing it down the toilet, keep a trash can with a bag and a lid in your bathroom, and you can put your flushable wipes in there, because your toilet should not be used as a trash can.
Homelessness can have a lot of stigma attached to it, But as we found out, a lot of the stigma is grounded in myth.
We hear a lot of myths. Mental illness causes homelessness. That is a myth. Substance abuse causes homelessness. That is a myth. The only thing that truly we can kind of say causes a homeless episode is the lack of support. That's it. So if anybody asks you what causes homelessness, you can now say it's just a lack of support. So think back in your life about how many times you had a crisis, a medical bill, a broke down car, making the decision to pay rent or, buy a pair of shoes for your child or put food on the table. So when we talk about financial crisis or a mental health crisis or a domestic violence crisis, it's all about the support that surrounds you. A lot of people will fight desperately and reach out to any support possible in order not to become homeless. That's a good portion of our population, those right on the verge of becoming homeless. They still have enough support, friends, family, they know who to call, they know who to go to for rental assistance or a little bit of help. Those people will rarely come into our system because of their support systems. Then you talk about the individuals who don't have a big support system and they don't know who to call in a crisis and they call too late. They've already been served an eviction. They have 7 days to get out. The best that we can help those is to guide them into shelter, which means they're coming into our homeless system. And that means we become their support system. And when that happens, we have to, as a system, become someone's friends, families, and support. And when we look at the population of homelessness and the myths that surround it as far as mental health and substance abuse, when you look at it in the totality, you don't see it when you look at the entire system. Where you start to see a majority of mental health or a majority of substance abuse are those that have entered the homeless system and have remained in the homeless system and are living on the streets, do not engage our homeless system. Those are individuals that are no longer trying to work their way out of homelessness, but are striving within their homelessness. It becomes their identity. And those, about 25% of our total. So we serve over 5,000 individuals and children each year, annually here in Lexington and Fayette County within our homeless system. About 25% of those report to us of having a mental illness, and about 35% report having a substance abuse issue. The rest just lack the support systems to remain homed, I guess is the best way to put it. And we became their support system and rehoused them. So I guess where people see, quote unquote, see homeless individuals are those that are living on our streets, that have been in the system and are now identified and have actually embodied a homeless identity. And those individuals are more likely to have a mental health issue or substance abuse issue, and they are thriving in their homeless occurrence. They're no longer trying to battle to get out of homelessness. They no longer know what it's like to be homed. They have been in their homeless occurrence so long that it becomes their identity. And those are the individuals that a lot of people see on the streets. I always tell people there's 50% of our population that you will never see because they come in and out of our system in less than 45 days, and we rehouse them and they probably will not come back into our system. The likelihood of them becoming homeless again is really low. Those are the light touches that people often don't see. If you go into any of our shelters, you're going to see a large portion of those shelters that those individuals don't have a mental illness or a substance abuse issue. They've had a crisis and they've lacked their own individual support system, so they've come into our support system to be rehoused.
Chris Edwards joins us with a preview of our live meeting coverage for this week. Chris, what do we have?
The council is back from spring break and getting ready to start the long process of ratifying a new budget, which will begin on July 1st of 2019. You can depend on Lex TV to be there to bring you all of the council's budget discussions and presentations. This week on Lex TV, we'll be televising and web streaming 7 meetings from the council chambers. The first will be the Board of Adjustment meeting on Monday, April 8th at 1:30 p.m. This week's council committee meeting on Tuesday at 1 p.m. is the Planning and Public Safety Committee. During this committee meeting, we'll see 3 presentations. One on a shared mobility pilot project. This is about all those orange rental bikes you see around town. And then a presentation on the sidewalk enforcement program. So if you have crumbling sidewalks in the front of your house, you may want to see this presentation. And then a presentation on zoning ordinance text amendments for zones B2, B2A, and B2B. At 3 p.m. on Tuesday, April 9th, the council's work session will begin with Mayor Gorton's budget address to council. If you're not familiar with the budget process, this is the first step in the council's budget process. After the mayor delivers her budget to the council, it's in their hands for refining and tweaking before eventually ratifying it. On Wednesday, April 10th at 9 a.m. will be the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting. And then on that same day at 5 p.m. will be the Board of Architectural Review. Then Thursday, April 11th, Lex TV will televise the last 2 meetings for the week. At 1:30 p.m. will be the Planning Commission's subdivision items. And then at 6 p.m. will be the formal council meeting. At the beginning of the council meeting, the Fayette County Health Department will hand out their Public Health Hero Award. So that's all the meetings we have for the week of April 8th. Stay connected to your local government meetings here on Lex TV and web streamed at lexingtonky.gov/LexTV.
That's all for this week. You can keep up with us on social media and check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For the staff and producers at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.